Hello, welcome back to I Create For You. I just wanted to come on here and do a story today. I know I had been slacking. I didn't do Mondays and I didn't do whatever Wednesday, and I apologize, but I'm gonna make up for it. So I have these two books that I have. These are all about Pennsylvania ghost stories. Lehigh Valley is on one side of us, and Schuylkill and Carbon counties are on the other side of us. We're sandwiched between them in Berks County. So I am going to do a story out of the Lehigh Valley, and it's going to be Chelsea, the Ghost of Catasauqua. And you'll notice you might not think about it being in the Pennsylvania. I mean, usually you think more on the West Coast, but a lot of the towns in Schuylkill County and some in, well, actually, a better part of Pennsylvania, you'll notice that a lot of towns and things are given Native American names. So, in fact, when we lived in Schuylkill County, we lived in Tamaqua, and Tamaqua is a native word. I don't remember the meaning off the top of my head, but there isn't any other city in the United States named Tamaqua. So that was a pretty cool, fun fact. So we are going to go into the Catasauqua, the Chelsea, the Ghost of Catasauqua. I'll read it and do the sketch. And I'll bring you, I'll bring you guys down. That was my boot. I'll bring you guys down to the story, and then I will be able to sketch and let you see what I'm doing here. Okay, we're near a cemetery. That's all Jenny will allow us to divulge regarding the exact location of the pleasant home in Catasauqua, where a ghost named Chelsea has teased, tormented, and nearly terrified a young family for several years. Before their story, a brief explanation about an uncomfortable but very real fact of a ghost story writer's life. Well, okay, I'm going to back that up. I don't understand that paragraph. It's just going to say, before we get into the story, they're going to briefly explain a very real fact of a ghost story writer's life. Got it. Well, the following incident does take place in Catasauqua, the street address will not be published. And while we refer to the protagonist in the story as Jenny, it is not her real name. It is an example of a story given in exchange for anonymity. For the writer and reader, it is a trade-off of sorts. The story would go unpublished because of the very understandable reluctance of the subjects to release their true names and correct addresses. They fear more the wrath of a curious public than the ghostly events they live with every day. They also fear the possible loss of property value, the acts of unthinking vandals, and ridicule by those with whom they associate on a daily basis. Thus, in the process of gathering ghost stories, the authors respect the privacy of their sources and comply with their wishes. Jenny isn't certain if her home's proximity to the cemetery has anything to do with the presence which has made its way into their lives. She recalled one of the first incidents. It was in 1990. We were both sleeping, and at the same time we both looked up, she said. 12 o'clock at night, and we both looked up. We didn't say anything to each other until the whole experience was over, but we each heard somebody coming up the steps, and then we looked, and there was a figure. I didn't see a face or eyes or anything like that. It was just all in black. I was looking over by the banister. We both looked up at each other. My husband grabbed a mug and we went down the steps. We never heard anything go back down the steps. We went downstairs to check all the doors and windows. They were all locked, so it couldn't have been an intruder. Then we were back upstairs. We both saw the same thing. We couldn't possibly be having the same dream. Jenny said she wasn't actually afraid at the time of that first encounter, but further incidents gave her cause for concern. One time, a toy telephone began ringing. That would be nothing unusual, would it not have been for the fact that there were no batteries in the toy at the time. My husband would place things on the wall and they would move, she remembered. As firmly as he would secure them to the wall, they would still move as if some unearthly force was setting them in motion. He thinks it's a girl, and her name is Chelsea, Jenny said of her husband's acceptance of this spirit. It or she would pick on him at nighttime. Such a situation might be awkward for a wife to accept, even if the flirting female is of the phantom variety. Oh no, said Jenny. I think she watches over me. She picks on him, though, because she knows I don't feel threatened. On one occasion, Jenny believes she actually saw Chelsea's form pass by her. It was a silhouette. I didn't see a face. It could have almost been a big sweatsuit jacket, but all enclosed. She struggled to describe the ghostly figure. Nobody believes any of this, she affirmed, but indicated that it didn't really matter to Jenny and her husband what others thought. We really don't tell anybody anymore, she said. We're near a cemetery. Nobody has ever died in our home. Maybe it's a relative of mine or something. I really don't know. As it turns out, her husband admitted to have felt the presence of the spirit long before they shared that frightening experience in the middle of the night in 1990. Jenny and her mate believe they have shielded their 2 children from the spectral activity in their home. I know that if they knew, Jenny said, they wouldn't be able to sleep. She's probably right. So that's a strange ghost. I mean, they think it's a woman. They're not too sure. She seems flirtatious and likes to pick on the husband. But, like I keep saying, if something like that's happening where I live, I would like to look into it. I would like to investigate and see where it might be coming from, why I'm experiencing these things. And maybe I would get a better understanding. So I'm going to try to do an illustration for this, and I'm going to make it faceless, and I'm going to make a female, and I'm going to make it faceless, and I'm going to just do a picture the best that I can. So I'm going to draw out the face that isn't there. And we'll just shade this in. This is the face part that isn't there. Since she says they do not see a face or eyes or anything. So I'm going to put that there. Alright, and it's a woman, so I'm going to have her like she's looking down. On them as they're sleeping, sort of. This is her hair. And she is a faceless ghost. So, she's all in black, but I'll just do this as her part of her silhouette there. Not basically a silhouette because I drew all this stuff, but still what she would look like. I'm just going to make a little bit of the darkness. Then we're going to take the blender stick, magic blender stick, and make this stuff blended in a little bit. I had something underneath my paper. And that's what I'm going to use as the faceless Chelsea. This is Chelsea. And she's just like looking down on the people that she's teasing and looking over. I will bring this up to you. Chelsea. The faceless ghost in black. Okay, like I said, some of these stories are rather interesting, but I would probably I'd be curious enough to want to know who or what it may be. And with that, I'd like to say thank you for all your patience with me. It's been a rough month, and my next few months are going to be rough too, but I'm going to try to trudge through it because this kind of helps me stay focused on other things and get my mind off things that seem to be bothering me at the moment. So, with all that said, thanks so much for stopping by today. I might, if I have time today, I might put up what I usually do on a whatever Wednesday. I do that my 200 prompt daily, not daily, the 200 prompt drawing book. I might do a prompt today too, since I missed out on Wednesday, and we'll see what happens. And if I'm feeling up to it, I might even add something on Saturday because I was not consistent this week. Thank you so much again. Thank you all for sticking by me and supporting my channel. And if you are interested in this kind of thing, please subscribe. It doesn't cost anything and it helps out my channel. And please give a thumbs up if you liked what you saw. Comment if you've heard of stories similar to this one where they have a ghost. They're not quite sure what it is, poltergeist or otherwise, and not necessarily knowing male, female, child. Actually, I think they have determined it's not a child. But yeah, I'd like to know if anything happened where you live, or to you, or anyone you has told you a similar story. That'd be interesting. And I hope to see you all in the next video. In the meantime, please stay happy, stay healthy, stay creative, stay colorful, stay creepy, and stay true to yourself. And please stay kind to others. It does matter, and so do you. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye for now.